A very good morning, children. Welcome to your chemistry online class. We are dealing with the chapter thermodynamics, and we have seen several terms in thermodynamics. Today, we are going to discuss about a new topic, that is the relationship between Cp and Cv for an ideal gas. We know what is an ideal gas. The gas which is behave ideally in constant pressure and temperature with constant number of moles of a gas. So this gas is known as ideal gas. It's only a theoretical concept. All gases are not behave ideally actually. They will deviate from its nature. These all things we have discussed already. So in this lesson we are going to study about the relationship between Cp and Cv. What are Cp and Cv? At constant volume, the heat capacity, C, we know what is heat capacity, that is denoted by letter C. If heat capacity in constant volume, that is denoted by the letter Cv. So what will be Cp? The heat capacity in the constant pressure. So Cv is the heat capacity in the constant volume. Cp is the heat capacity in the constant pressure. So we'll see what is the relationship between Cp and Cv for an ideal gas. So for an at constant volume that is Qv, that is heat. The amount of heat produced denoted by the letter Q. So it is in constant volume, hence we can denote it as a Qv. So at constant volume, the heat produced is is equal to the heat capacity in constant volume into delta T. So heat capacity in change in temperature gives amount of heat produced. We know that is our internal energy. That all things we have seen. That is heat produced is equal to the internal energy of the system. That is Cv delta T. So what will be at constant pressure? Qp. The heat produced in constant pressure is Qp. So Cp delta T. That is we know that is delta H, that is enthalpy. This is internal energy. This is enthalpy. We know Cv delta T is delta U. Cp delta T is delta H. We'll see the difference between Cp and Cv. This is for, we'll get an equation for 1 mole of an ideal gas. For 1 mole of an ideal gas, we know enthalpy is equal to delta U plus P delta V or delta PV. This we have seen in last class. We know PV, for in ideal gas equation, we know that PV is equal to for ideal gas equation PV is equal to what? PV is equal to nRT, that we have seen. PV is equal to nRT for ideal gas. Here given we are using 1 mole. So this n is number of moles. So instead of this n we can put 1. So what will be our equation? PV is equal to RT. So here in this equation delta H is equal to delta U plus delta PV. Instead of PV what we can put? Instead of PV we can substitute RT. So the equation, consider this as Cp and Cv. So in this equation we are going to identify the difference between Cp and Cv. So instead of this equation, let's take it as equation number 1. Consider it as equation 1. In equation 1 we can put we can substitute RT instead of PV. So delta H is equal to delta U plus delta RT. that is delta U plus R delta T, because R is a constant. So it will not change. It's a constant. So temperature only change. So delta T. So delta U plus R delta T. So delta H is equal to delta U plus R delta T. So we'll substitute the values of, we know delta U is equal to CV delta T and delta H is equal to Cp delta T. So substitute this value in this equation. What is delta H? That is Cp delta T. So Cp delta T is equal to delta U is equal to Cv delta T. So Cp delta T is equal to Cv delta T plus R delta T. So if you rewrite the equation, we will get like this. If you check here, delta T is common. If we cancel this delta T, is what you will get? Cp is equal to Cv plus R. Cp is equal to Cv plus R. And we are calculating the difference between Cp and Cv. So the Cv will come to this side, the positive sign will change to negative. So Cp minus Cv is equal to R. What is R? Our ideal gas constant. So Cp minus Cv will be ideal gas constant. This is the relation between Cp and Cv. I hope you understood this equation. And how can we measure this delta U and delta H? The method to measure delta U and delta H is calorimetry. The method we are using is known as calorimetry. So we know delta U and delta H both are energy changes. So we'll measuring it with chemical or physical processes. If any physical or chemical process occurs, certainly there will be energy changes. For each system, each state, the energy will be vary. So in order to calculate this energy change in physical and chemical process, we are using the technique calorimetry. So we'll see what are things will be there in this. In this process, a vessel called calorimeter is immersed in a known volume of a liquid. For this purpose, there is a tool, that is, or equipment called calorimeter. In chemistry labs and all, we are using that. Higher classes, you will also use this. Calorimeter is immersed in a known volume of liquid. We'll immerse this in a known volume of liquid. The volume of liquid should be known. And knowing the heat capacity of the liquid in which the calorimeter is immersed and the heat capacity of the calorimeter, it is possible to determine the heat evolved by the measuring the temperature changes under two conditions. So, if we know the heat capacity of the liquid, so we should know the volume and the heat capacity and the heat capacity of calorimeter. We can see under conditions how much amount of or what type of reaction occurs there, or how much energy or what type of change of energy. So in two conditions, the conditions are, first case is at constant volume, that is QV. Second case is at constant pressure, how heat exchange or how much energy produced in constant volume and constant pressure will take. We'll see how to measure internal energy. For delta U measurements, heat is absorbed at constant volume, and hence these measurements, we know delta U is always related to constant volume, delta H related to constant pressure. So you can see here, we are using the technique Bohm calorimeter. This is the setup, experiment setup. This is the calorimeter. This is calorimeter. This equipment is known as calorimeter. Here is a steel vessel is immersed in a water bath. This is water. is a steel vessel. That is our sample. We'll immersed, and the steel vessel is immersed in the water bar to ensure that no heat is lost in its surroundings. So it is completely immersed. So it should be in the system. No exchange of heat with the surroundings. And combustible substance is burnt in pure dioxygen supplied in the steel bomb. This you can see here the bomb. Since the bomb calorimeter is sealed, its volume does not change. So the energy changes associated with the reaction are measured at constant volume. So the volume should be constant. Under this condition, no work is done as the reaction is carried out at a constant volume in the bomb calorimeter. Even for reactions involving gases, there is no work done. That is delta V is 0. So temperature change of the reaction is then converted to QV by using the non-heat capacity of the calorimeter. If we know the heat capacity of this compound and heat capacity of the calorimeter, we can easily calculate how much energy of heat produced. Then we'll see how to measure the delta H, that is our enthalpy change. We can measure the heat change at constant pressure in a calorimeter by the following technique. This is the equipment setup. You are using the atmospheric pressure method. We know that delta H is equal to QP, and therefore heat absorbed or evolved is QP. So at constant pressure is also called heat of reaction or enthalpy of reaction. That is denoted by delta RH. In an exothermic reaction, heat is evolved and system loses heat to the surroundings. We know exothermic reaction is heat evolving reaction. So the heat evolved in the by the process is transferred to surrounding, from system to surroundings. Therefore, QP will be negative. We know for exothermic reaction the QP will be negative. If it is endothermic, QP will be positive. So we will see how we know the enthalpy change of a reaction. We know in a reaction, reactants are converted to products. So the enthalpy change accompanying a reaction is called the reaction enthalpy. So while a reactant is converted to product, there will be reaction enthalpy. There will be heat change. The enthalpy change of a chemical reaction is denoted by the letter delta RH. So we know delta RH is equal to sum of the enthalpies of the product minus sum of the enthalpies of the reactant. This symbol is sigma, it is denoting the sum. So sum of the enthalpies of the products minus sum of the enthalpies of the reactant, where A and B are constant. So by this technique we can calculate the enthalpy change. Standard enthalpy of reactions we will see in the next class.